Hey friends, welcome to episode 18 of the Hyperbolic Time Chamber Podcast, where we fit 15 days of content within an hour. I am your host, Jeffrey Louie, along with my wonderful co-hosts, as always, Ron Kauanoe and Thach. And last but not least, we do have a returning special guest, Shane, so we have a special treat for you guys here. If you are new to the channel, please throw a 5-star review or share it to your friends and family. We appreciate the support. Before we do begin, I want to give a big shout out to Anchor, our sponsor, for holding it down for us. Thank you. And let's get this started, boys. How you guys doing? What kind of games have been playing? How's quarantine treating you? How's everything going?
What's up? What's up, everybody?
What is up? Everyone sounds tired. It's 9 p.m. Sunday.
Man,
yeah,
some
it's
California
chilling.
heat, man's been killing
Yeah, it's
me.
the heat
Oh,
that's just
yeah.
draining.
It was
Yeah, it is.
heat wave this week, huh? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be like 90s and 100s this week.
Yeah. Oh my
So,
gosh.
ready
But
for that.
The heat wave came with some heat new releases. So
Oh,
God,
yeah.
Segue.
That's
Look at
a
that.
hot-
We're getting better.
That's a hot
better.
segue.
I like that.
That's a spicy.
Oh, it's-
New releases. Okay,
That
speaking
10 out
of
of 10.
10 out of
10
10, that's a 10 out of 10. Speaking of new releases, we got the new Skate game got announced. We want to kind of compare it with Tony Hawk, perhaps. We did have Pokemon Sword and Shield's Isle of Armor that came out this past week. All the good hot stuff.
and don't
What do you
forget the
guys
most
want?
important thing, Pokemon Snap, dude. Come on.
Pokemon Snap. Oh, snap, dude. I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of
Which
Pokemon
one?
news this week, for sure.
There is.
Yeah.
Which one do you guys want to start with first?
Let's start with Pokemon Snap. That sounds
said
like
Pokemon
good
Snap, yeah.
energy.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. think of the
That
trailer?
trailer was amazing. It was good.
Yeah.
I
So
just saw it.
After 20 something, I think it's like 20 years, they finally announced Pokemon Snap. And yeah, it's insane. It's insane. I was not expecting it. Went in the night before and was like, whoa. Maybe I was hoping for, all the big name stuff, but I was like, keep my hopes down because it's Nintendo. We gotta keep it reasonable. Don't want to overshoot my expectations. But yeah, go ahead, Vu.
Oh, dude, man. I literally just watched the Pokemon Snap trailer just now just to refresh my mind. And this trailer was pretty much everything I wanted out of a new Pokemon Snap game. Like, yeah. I'm super happy. And last week we were complaining about remakes and remasters and all this, but I swear Nintendo's the only one that's allowed to get away with it.
What did I say? I said over 15 years, so we're still in the
Yeah,
clear
no.
here.
You're
We're
right,
still
you're
in
right,
the
you're
clear
right.
here.
You're right. Yep. So what do you guys think?
I just
Man.
saw the trailer just as you told me before we started stream.
Oh, okay.
It looks gorgeous. I mean, I love the way the vibrant world looks alive. I mean, we never
Mhm.
seen a Pokemon game's environments look that good until
Right.
now. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Even though I wasn't the biggest fan of Snap growing up, but now it looks like it really is bringing a whole new life to the game.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do
So
you
I'm super excited. I loved Pokemon Snap, but here's the frugal guy in me. Even as a kid, what the N64 games were like 70, 80 back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Arm and a leg. I
Yeah.
to this day do not believe that game was worth whatever my mom paid for it back in the day. Love Pokemon
Definitely
Snap.
not.
Love it to death. Game is fun.
Yeah.
But looking back on it now, I would not pay more than 40 for it, even to this day with the new Pokemon Snap.
To this day.
Yeah.
That's true because I remember playing that game as a kid because I didn't have N64 and my mom used to go to the gym, so I'd go with her and the daycare center at the gym would have the Pokemon Snap,
Oh,
and
that's
I
cool.
could beat the whole entire game in the session that my mom was at the gym.
Bro,
Literally,
that's
an
like
hour or
that's
two.
like-
It's
yeah,
super short.
that's
Mhm.
super skill level right there because literally you have a limited time. You're like, hey, all right, cool. Where's the daycare? I gotta get to work. Mom, you gotta get to work. I gotta get to work.
That
But
remind me
no,
of
Mhm.
that remind me of Blockbuster back in the day. You would just
Mhm.
rent a game. You got a few days
Yep.
and just beat it before you
Yep.
your rentals
That's,
up.
yep, that's the thing. That's the thing. Like for me, yeah. With Shane, looking back in it and being in the industry now, looking back at it, paying, 70, 80 bucks for it. Yeah, I could see why I didn't have many N64 games. But, to go back now and look at it and you're like, all right, you got to figure all the hardware and stuff it was super expensive to manufacture the cartridges, the motherboards, all this kind of stuff. It was super high back then. And now, since I guess we went to sort of a disc, it kind of made things cheaper and brought the cost down, which I'm okay with. But now Nintendo's back with cartridges, but now we have updated cartridges that can hold 32 gigabytes on there. I think, or probably even more. They can hold more storage on the little cartridge, and it's now, I think, less cost effective or more cost effective going with cartridges instead of discs, because Blu-rays, they get expensive. Things like that. And then sometimes, even if it's dual layer Blu-ray, that's maximum 50 gigabytes per disc. So you have the first layer, 25 gigs, second layer is 25. And then these games are getting super, super big. Like Last of Us is 100 gigs minimum. And
I had to delete so much stuff.
I had to delete, dude, I had to delete one game or two games. And then the first install disc I had to input. And now it's like going back to like the PS1 or like the PS2 days, where it's like, oh, I have multiple DVD discs I have to put in just to start playing the game. Even like Final Fantasy original one, it's multiple discs. So, but it's cool to see stuff going back onto the cartridge. And yeah, looking back at it, definitely did the Blockbuster route, because I couldn't afford it and my parents couldn't afford it. And it was just super expensive, rent it multiple times if you didn't beat it. And then, all right, cool. It cost you $10 to play the game. All right, awesome. Didn't own it, but you played it and you experienced it.
I know my brother did that with like Resident Evil 3. He would just like,
oh yeah,
yeah, because those games you could kind of beat within like maybe 10, 15 hours.
A couple days,
A couple days.
You guys want to know a hack on how to get a cheap free game from Blockbuster? I did this all the time.
What
Don't
was
tell
the hack?
anybody. I just switched my old broken games for the good one.
Oh,
All the time when I was a kid.
you're the reason why they're out of business. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
Swap.
Swap that, baby. Got a clean disc here.
So for Pokemon Snap, I'm curious, like, how they have Pokemon Go, what is that? The library, the thing where you can trade between Pokemon Home, where you can trade between, all that. So do you think like you would be able to like transfer your Pokemon into a Pokemon Snap game and take pictures and do all that? You think they would
that would be cool.
That would be actually a good idea. Yeah.
Like a photo mode? I mean, every game has a photo mode, so that would make sense. I mean, that'd be cool to see, cross IP kind of transfers and stuff. So, you take something from one game or an app, and then you can migrate it back and forth. That'd be pretty cool. But then again, we might run into the issue of like duping something, and Nintendo's always like cracking down.
I think that's what they're very aware of. Like, I know on Pokemon Let's Go, not Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon Go, you can actually take pictures of your Pokemon that you actually catch in the game. They have like a VR mode and things like that. So that kind of reminds me of taking pictures of your Pokemon already in that sense. Was cool.
Yeah. And then for me, like seeing this new Pokemon Go, it's definitely a nostalgia trip. Like Pokemon Snap, it's a fun game. I love it, but it's not the best game in the world. Like you go back, it's rough. It is super rough. But they're hitting on the nostalgia. Yeah. And I was thinking, since it's better late than never, of course. But with the Switch not having a camera, why didn't they integrate it on the Wii U? Like the Wii would have made
back in the day, yeah.
Or even the DS. That's a great.
Like even the DS, like a DSi, Wii U. I've been saying like, all right, cool. We need a Pokemon Snap remake or Pokemon Snap 2 for these titles because they have cameras. Utilize the camera, but they didn't literally utilize it. But now we have it on the Switch, so I'm happy. But there's no camera on the Switch, so I'm wondering, hey,
that's a very missed opportunity. The more I'm thinking about it,
is the Pokemon Go and Pokemon Snap going to be kind of cross-platform? That's what I'm thinking because you have the app and phones take pictures because they have cameras on there. Can you kind of integrate those two services together and kind of have some sort of cross promotion? That'd be pretty cool. So
So my only other big issue, again, outside the price, because I can see. As much as we love this game, how many times do you guys think you're honestly going to play it? If there's no crossplay, no transferring your Pokemon over, honestly speaking, how many times do you think you're going to play it?
That's a great question because the last game only had, maybe a handful of maps, 3 or 4 maps? Right?
Yeah, it was like, I want to say 4 maps. I think the very last one was Mew, right? Where you go in space and take a picture of Mew. I remember doing that within like 4 hours of playing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully they change it up and add, a good variety of maps and locations for, if they do. I mean, there's so much more space now that they can work with. So I think they hopefully expand it to at least like 10 hours or something.
Bro,
Exactly.
space and regions. Like literally, if you start at the Kanto region and you work your way all through different areas, like come on,
amazing.
let's go.
That would be
But
sick.
then, why is it still on what do you call it? Rails? That was my only other concern. I was watching the trailer, like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be amazing. And lo and behold, they drop them on Rails and you take pictures again. I'm like, oh, so we can't explore? Like, I think if they would take you off the Rails and just let you go around and explore, this game would have tons of replayability. Like, hands down.
I get what you're trying to say, but I think maybe they decided to keep it on Rails because it's, that was what the original game is. And if they just let you walk like willy-nilly, then it may just be, another Pokemon Sword game.
Maybe keep a core gameplay.
Right. They want to maybe separate the gameplay style, maybe. I don't know.
Is this going to be a full price game, though? Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's listed at $59.99.
Hey. It's like Pokemon on it. You put a full price on it. It's probably going to be like 5 hours long. Is this going to be a rebuild from the original and then they're adding new levels and stuff? Or is it just...
I think it's completely new. It looks
completely new. Okay.
Yeah, because it has the new Pokemon from I think this series. I'm super behind on Pokemon, but it looks like new Pokemon from this series. Jenny?
Yeah. But yeah, no, hey, if Pokemon Company International, you're listening, if you do the variations of the generations, the different areas, you do the Kanto, the Johto, literally hands down I'll buy the game. And then even if you include like 3 different regions, the first 3, Kanto, Johto, and Hoenn, if you do those 3 and sell to me for $60, it's like $20 a region. Okay, cool, that's fine. Make those regions in depth, then add the DLC later on to extend the life of it. Give us the next 3 after that, because I think we have 8 generations. So literally, if you want to do it that way, awesome. By all means, do it that way. That'd be pretty cool. But definitely make it worth the $60, please. And then like Shane, if they literally did like a free roam where you're like almost like Jurassic Park, where you're kind of crawling through like the safari zone or something, and you're like, all right, cool, let me literally throw apples and rocks. And let me go, all right, let me take these pictures. That'd be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool.
Hopefully they announce some sort of side gameplay like that. Something like along the lines, free roam mode, or that's what I felt about Mystery Dungeons when that came out a few months ago. I felt like that game is such an old remake, and just like repackaging it to be a full price game again. It's a little much, a little bit of a cash grab because it's Pokemon. Everyone's gonna buy it. Slap that name. Name on there.
Hey, this name alone is $30.
Got any more of them Pokemon? With the Dave Chappelle meme or whatever.
Oh yeah, the Tyrone Biggums. Yeah. Pokemon.
Got more than Mons. Yeah, but
I want to say
it's gonna sell. It's gonna sell for sure. Even Mystery Dungeon. I haven't seen a copy at any store. To this day since it's released. So I mean,
they probably didn't print that many copies.
Yeah, you know Pokemon is something that's gonna sell.
Yeah,
sure.
And I also want to add to this. Next week, after the Pokemon Direct that they had a couple days ago, where they announced it, they said they were gonna have something else next week too, and they're gonna announce a new game. So there's more speculation on what it's gonna be. So they were talking about, hey, people want the Gen 5 remake. What's Gen 5? Gen 5, I think.
What is Gen 5?
Is that Unova?
Yeah.
I think is it Unova? That's Black and White, right? Or is it the whatever Diamond and Platinum and Pearl was? That region. They said they want a remake.
Are they gonna make that like another Let's Go type?
So that's the thing. People are mixed on what this announcement might be. So they said that it's either going to be the Gen 5 remakes, which they haven't remade Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum yet. So they were like, oh, this is overdue. And I'm like, okay, cool. Other than that, we saw the Let's Go series. It took off. It sold super well. People bought it. people are saying that it might be Let's Go Johto stuff. And personally, I said, let's go Lugia, let's go Ho-Oh. Give me a gold and silver Joy-Con bundle with it. Please, I'll buy it. But
Crystal version remake.
Yeah.
Best version.
Yeah. They said it might be instead of because the Lugia and the Ho-Oh, it might not sell as well as like the cutesy Pokemon, so they might do Let's Go Pichu and then Let's Go Meryl. Those are the two type of Let's Go names that they're going. They're up in the the rumor mill right now. So
that'd be cool.
I didn't mind the Let's Go series.
Oh, Gen 4. Sorry.
We're okay.
Wait, Gen 4. Oh, wait, hold on. Was Ruby? Oh, Ruby Sapphire's Gen 3?
Ruby and Sapphire's Gen 3.
Oh, sorry. Gen 4 remake. Sorry. Gen 4 remake. I stand corrected.
Gen 4 is Diamond Pearl, right?
Yep, Diamond Pearl. Then Gen 5 is black. Black, white, black 2,
black and white.
It's all about Pokemon Sword and Shields. If they add like a wild area in like the newer remakes, that would be pretty sick because that's the best. That's the best new gameplay element from Pokemon, in my opinion. Where whenever we talk about Isle of Armor, but that is definitely just if you guys played all the you guys played the new one, right? Sword and Shield.
Yeah, I did.
Did you guys find that like the wild area was really good?
I really liked the wild area too.
Yeah. It just felt like totally like a Pokemon experience where you just literally just have so much Pokemon popping up in your face, and hunting Pokemon that way felt so like natural.
Yeah, it's like Safari Zone 2.0.
Yeah.
Like basically like, all right, cool, you can roam around. And if they incorporate that kind of stuff in a Pokemon Snap, that would be cool. Yeah. Like that kind of like if you could just roam around and have like a wild area type in that game, that would be super cool. And that'd be a good mechanic to add into the next iteration of Let's Go.
Definitely.
But
yeah, that'd be cool.
So Jeff, I think you told us that you also played the expansion. That'd be a good chance to segue into the expansion.
True.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead?
Isle of Armor is part 1 of the expansion pass for Pokemon Sword and Shield. I'm playing the Pokemon Sword version. There's 2 different versions, a little confusing. The difference of the version is some Pokemon exclusives. They have a different character storyline that slightly differs just because of the character. Other than that, it's more wild area, so it's everything I kind of wanted when they announced it. I just wanted more wild area because the original wild area was kind of a little small. So the new wild area is on like a tropical island called Isle of Armor, and then the storyline is like you meet a dojo master named Mustard, and you go through these trials throughout the island and stuff like that, and he tests you, and then you pass his trials and things like that. There's a new legendary in the expansion as well, and they added over 100 new Pokemon. Not necessarily new, but they fixed the Dexit a little bit. You know how like a lot of the Gen 1 Pokemon weren't in it, so Bulbasaur and Squirtle are now in it. So they added that as a free update as well, so you don't have to have the expansion to have those Pokemon in. So that's good because kind of quell the fans a little bit, make the fans calm down, the people who are mad about that. So that's a good thing. They're going to add, I believe, another 100 more. I think there's going to be more as well coming part 2 in the fall. But this one is fairly well made. The wild area is definitely a lot better. The storyline is quite short, but it does its purpose. It does its job. It's very simple. But more raids, the better. They even have global adventures right now where there's I forgot the legendary. If 1 million trainers battle that legendary by the end of this month, you get like a shiny version. Is it Zora?
It's Zeraora.
Zeraora, yeah.
Zeraora. It's a white version of it. And that's the shiny version. So
that's dope. That gives a lot of players like a real reason why to jump back in the game to get that special Pokemon. That's really cool.
Yep, they're gonna give out a shiny if the world could Pokemon fans hit 1 million. So
wow.
Yeah.
Have you got to check out those new legendary birds? That's probably one of my most curious
variations.
Yeah, the new variations. Have you got to battle or catch any of them?
Those are coming out in part 2 of the expansion because part 2 they're actually adding a new gameplay mode called I believe it's like dungeon raiding, and then you'll be able to find like the legendary birds, the variants of them and stuff like that. So part 1 is more of the same, just a new wild area, not too much changed. But part 2 is going to be like the one that actually has a new gameplay mode and more Pokemon added. So definitely, I've been playing it this past week. If you guys pick it up, we could raid together and stuff like that. So It's
For
been
sure.
fun.
I beat Sword, but I haven't gotten around to hopping on the expansion since I've been so busy trying to play Last of Us.
Yeah. Whenever you're finished with Last of Us, if you want to hop on, the new wild area is way more expansive. It has a lot of more nooks and crannies. You got all these tunnels you could go into, and you could just like explore. Pretty much, you could cross the sea and everything. Pretty much, it's so vast
Okay.
compared to the original wild area. So
Sick.
highly
All right.
recommend it.
Sick. All right, so you guys want to go to the next new releases, or
Yeah, let's skate into the next.
Let's skate in. Skate in.
there we go.
Oh yeah, bad segues. Skate new iteration of it. EA Play or EA Live, whatever it was called. I think it was EA
Mhm.
Play. Happened a couple days ago. Announced a bunch of different things, but not too many different things. They talked about Star Wars Squadron, which was the new, basically dogfighting mode, or not dogfighting mode, dogfighting game where you play as the Rebels or the Empire, and you just basically fly around in X-wings or TIE destroyers, TIE interceptors, things like that. They announced that, and they were talking more about that. They announced a couple other games. I think the new Need for Speed is in the works, of course, new Battlefield, but they didn't really have too many new things to talk about. Then the last like 10 seconds, they were like, "Yo, hey, we're gonna throw it over, boom, boom," and lo and behold, Skate 4, whatever they want to call it, they haven't renamed or they haven't named it yet. New Skate
Unlimited.
game, yeah, new Skate game is literally coming out. They're working on it. I don't know when it's coming out. They haven't said, but they said they're working on it. So I don't know if they literally just were like, "Yo, hey, we have Skate 4 or Skate, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be working on it," or how far they in. Hopefully they're super far in, because Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 remaster or remake is going to be coming out pretty soon. I think September. So, and I don't think they said if it was going to be for this generation. I think they left that part out. I think they said it's going to be maybe next generation, but don't quote me
really?
on that. Yeah,
I was
so
kind of hoping that they would come out at the same time as Tony Hawk, because I would love to see that Skate battle, SKATE. Let's battle Tony Hawk versus Skate, like because
heck
Skate,
yeah.
It should
Yeah,
come
'cause
out for
the
both.
big-
That's kind of dead.
Yeah.
That's kind of bad. I mean, I heard like a lot of the Sony is like encouraging to just make it on the PS5 and abandon the PS4 because they want the games to utilize the PS5's power right away. So
Right.
that's unfortunate if that's the case. But,
Yeah.
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying, Vu.
Oh, I was just saying it would be cool to see them, because I always love seeing different games battle each other of the same
Heck yeah.
genre. You know,
Yeah.
Because when Tony Hawk came out, it was its own thing. There was nothing battling them, and when Skate came out, they were their own thing. Nobody was battling them. Now there's an opportunity to, spice it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Competition is good for the consumer.
Heck yeah. I want to see who's got the better mechanics, who's got the better, I guess, overall engine, gameplay, storyline. Come on. Like, this is literally super cool to see. Like, we have, we're sitting here, we're talking about not only one Skate game, we're talking about 2 Skate games that literally we could play. And that's pretty cool. Like you said, hasn't been done. Like, they've come out at different eras and different time periods. So to have them both potentially being on the same platform, that's super cool to see. And it'd be like, battle of who's got the better Skate game next year? Oh, is it Tony Hawk or is it Skate and EA? So
Who do you think Skate is going to use as like their mascot to go against Tony Hawk if they were to?
What's his name? Let me look it up.
I don't know, like
Did they ever have a mascot
Yeah,
before?
neither do I.
Did they ever?
No,
No.
It was
really.
it was just a guy.
Oh, P-Rod?
Oh,
Is he
this
skating?
I know.
No way.
I just found out this dude's a skater.
Or Little Wayne. I remember Little Wayne was in the last Skate
really?
or no, he was in the last Tony Hawk game.
That's cool. Oh, you mean like
Yeah.
a special character? Like they
Yeah, I
have-
think so.
Okay, cool.
Which I thought was cool.
Yeah,
got
I'd
it.
like Jamal Smith. Jamal Smith? Yeah, he's the guy that you see the video all the time and you think he's trolling.
I
Like,
think you're talking about Ron.
his
I know
clothes
you're talking.
whack.
Oh
Yeah,
yes, I was thinking of him too.
Yep.
Wait, and he walks
Mhm.
whack. Wait, he talks.
Whack.
Whack.
They gotta have
I'm
him.
tight as fuck.
Yeah, they gotta have him for sure.
Yeah.
You gonna put it in now?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go. Look at this protection value.
Oh god.
It does no sound, but whack.
No,
Yep. Close.
But yeah,
Whack.
that guy.
The way he doesn't like your smile, whack. I'm tight.
Baby
as fuck.
Yoda on.
Me.
Quick Genius says Baby Yoda on a board.
Yep.
What's up?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one.
Man.
Bottom
Hey,
right
that'd
corner.
be cool.
Or
Yeah, that'd be
top right.
cool if. Yeah, that'd be cool if EA did like crossover with Star Wars and all of their other IPs to throw into their. Can you imagine Darth Vader on a skateboard or something? That'd be sick.
Bro, Thug 2. Thug 2 had Bigfoot, literally.
Uh-huh.
And then I swear I swear somebody had Darth Vader. Or some
Really?
there was somebody in
You're
a
right.
Tony Hawk game. I think it was Pro Skater 3 or 4 or some there was a guest character, like a crazy
Yeah.
guest character.
2 had Spider-Man.
No, it was Spider-Man. It was Spider-Man.
Oh,
Spider-Man.
definitely
okay.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's sick.
Somebody did have Vader though.
Oh, do you think we'll see like? It'd
Side
be
grind.
cool.
Side grind.
It'd be cool if we see like a Spider-Man exclusive character on PlayStation, and then maybe like a Master Chief on the Xbox version, kind of like what Soul Calibur would do. you know?
Yeah. Soul
Yeah.
Calibur thing. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, they should do a
Yeah.
crossover like that. That'd be sick.
Because I think that was when Neversoft and Activision owned the
Yep.
rights. So
Tony Pro Skater 3, it was Darth Maul.
Darth Maul. Oh, Darth Maul.
Oh, it was Darth Maul? That's
Yeah.
sick.
I remember
Like
now.
that's why I
Yeah,
was like thinking is super crazy kind of stuff like that.
I believe he had
is
his
not
lightsaber
common
and
from-
everything. He had his dual sabers
Yep.
too. That was sick.
Yeah.
They gotta do something crazy like that again.
Fun
Mhm.
times.
I haven't
A
played a
baby-
skateboarding
baby
game in
Yoda.
a long time. I would actually be kind of
Oh,
tempted
Miles
to probably play.
Morales on a skateboard? That's
Dude, Miles
Oh
Morales,
yeah.
Miles
Miles
Morales,
Morales.
Baby Yoda, Carrot. Oh, Carrot Top. P-Rod as a ambassador. That'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting. P-Rod's
Yeah,
pretty
that'd
dope.
be sick. He
Yeah.
is. Who was that one skateboarder that did all the crazy? I think it was it Rodney Mullen? Have you guys ever seen his?
Oh, Ronnie
his-
Bolin, dude.
Yeah, I love
So
Rodney
badass.
Mullen.
Dude.
Old
Yeah.
school, man.
Him,
Mhm.
Bob Burnquist, freaking
Yes.
Buck Elastic. Like, come on,
Yep. All the classics.
man. I think I just saw a video with those guys. I think it was the announcement of Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. They had all the old skaters with Tony Hawk, and it was super dope. It was super dope to see those guys.
Yeah, that's
And it-
cool. Seeing all your favorite old school skateboarders in that setting is awesome.
Yeah.
Yep, and they're still skating and they're still killing it. I'm like, bro, all right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that'd be cool to see. Like, I know, dude, Skate. I play both series. Tony Hawk definitely fun because, of course, the iconic warehouse level. Skate was
Yep.
fun in its outright because literally you were doing street and vert. So literally you go into you can skate on anything outside and everything, basically street style, or you can go into like actual skateboard parks like Woodward and stuff like that, or Burnside, things like that. So that's pretty cool. But I want to see what they update in this type of game because we haven't really had a new type of sports game in a while.
For
So
skating,
we've
at
had,
least.
of course, yeah,
It got too
skating.
saturated, and that's why they stopped. And I think it's a good time
Mhm.
to come back for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I think so too. And yeah, definitely. And I think who was it? I think Tyler the Creator was super excited. He was like, "Yo, hey, if you guys are going to do anything with it, let me buy Skate. Let me buy the IP from you."
I could see him being in that game, dude. Golf Wang, man. I can see that.
I can't. Like Tyler the Creator. Oh man, I could see him in there.
And
Nah,
Just keep
nah,
his humor in there
They
too.
gotta put the
Yeah, oh,
Untitled
yeah.
Goose on there.
Oh
Imagine
yeah.
the goose.
Flipping over your skateboard.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's just like knocking your skateboard over, or doing kick flips and
Steals your
180s,
skateboard, puts it away.
900s.
Shoot.
He puts it away, and he honks
All
at
right.
you. All right. Oh
So
man.
what's the next game? What was the next game? Totally forgot what the last one
I
was.
mean, what are we at?
It was.
Why don't we use the next half to talk about Last of Us? Because
Oh,
we're definitely
Okay.
gonna use most of that time.
Yep.
So what do you guys think?
yeah. I
Last
got
of
a
Us.
lot.
A lot
say
to
about
say,
that
right?
game.
Right? I know, me
Lot
too.
to
I'm sure
say.
we all got our own opinions about it
Lot
because
to
it's very polarizing game. The reviews, if you looked on Metacritic, insane, like 100 out of 100 reviews on Metacritic, and then you look at the user reviews, it's like everyone's giving it like a 2 or 3, or it's like a 3.5 average. So it's very controversial. So there's so much to talk about. Yeah. I wasn't too surprised that I heard about the leaks. I didn't read in too much into it because I wanted to play for myself and be a judge for myself. But what I heard, I was very disappointed. We did talk about it in the previous podcast. But what are your guys' thoughts? The game just came out this past Friday.
Which one do you guys want to go first? Because I have a lot of thoughts about this game. I've only played maybe about
you go ahead
7-8 hours. I haven't played a ton, so I have a first impressions. So at least for me, I think so far it's honestly almost a masterpiece title. I haven't beaten it, so I can't say for sure, but just so far from how I felt from it, the story, the characters, the amazing graphics, unbelievable graphics, like on par with God of War, and it's just I can't wait to beat it. I don't know what to tell you.
I feel it.
I can feel that.
Yeah.
Ron or Shane?
I think me and Ron are pretty much going to be similar. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but
okay.
I personally so far love the game. I'm like, I would say maybe 10, 15 hours into it right now.
Okay.
I'm literally just exploring. I'm barely playing the story since this one's a little bit more open. I'm just exploring and seeing what I can find. And just listening to just Ellie talk, and when they see a building, they'll just sit there and just talk about the building. Stuff like that I love. Like Last of Us is one of the first games I've noticed that kind of does that, where they discuss the environment. Like, yeah, there's a story, but like it kind of like draws you into like, hey, focus on like the hours and hours of painstaking work that the artist did. And it kind of forces you to look at it. And I think that's why I really enjoy Naughty Dog. They like doing a good game. They love telling a good story. But first and foremost, in my personal opinion, it's like, look at the scenery. So it's really forcing me to kind of like look at things. And I love that. I know nothing about the leaks. I've stayed far away from everything about this game. I saw the initial release trailer when they first announced it. And then I saw when the game went gold. I saw that trailer, so I've only seen like 2 trailers for this game.
Yeah, I even tried to avoid that. The trailers.
Same here. I avoided everything.
Yeah, I watched probably like the first minute. It was probably like a 3-minute trailer. And I was like, "Oh, this is too much," and I turned that off. What about you, Ron?
Yeah, it's good so far from what I played.
Oh, it's good. It's good. Do you have anything to add to it, Ron? Or
for me, yeah. So I'm gonna reserve all my overall things until I finally beat the game, but going into it, didn't really look at the leaks. I saw some of the stuff that they were like, all right, hey, this is all the stuff that leaked out. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to avoid it because I do want to play the game. The journalist reviews came out. So all the people that got the early copies, they did their things, 9s and 10s across the board. So that got me very interested. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. 9s and 10s across the board. I think Metacritic was sitting at a 96 out of 100. So I was like, okay, cool. Then I waited actually a couple days, and I saw some of the user reviews come in, and then I saw that shift. So basically, you have the journalist review up here, and you have the user reviews down here. So I think it was sitting at like a 3.6, and it's polar opposites. And like I think last week, Jeff was saying that how he doesn't listen to reviews anymore and wants to play the game. That's why I wanted to go into this game and play it as quickly as possible, because I want to see if not who's right, but why these people, both parties, are literally giving these scores out. Because I think Alana Pierce put out a video talking about scores and things like that, and how a 10 is not it's not a perfect game kind of thing. They just use it as like the scale, because if they didn't, literally people would be like, why didn't you score it, blah blah blah. So they do it for more users. I was like, okay, cool, that makes sense. But going into that mindset now, knowing that newfound knowledge, I wanted to see why these were getting so high praise, and from users, why literally they were giving it so low grades. And looking at it, I was like, okay, cool, is it true that some of these companies are paying for more positive reviews? And that's not like saying, hey, I'm going to give you money to give us a better score. That could be like, hey, we're going to give you X amount of copies for however many employees for free on us. Don't worry about it. And that's not kind of bribing. That's like literally just saying, hey, we're going to give you a gift. But if you get a gift for free of something that, you know, you're looking forward to, that kind of has some sort of
they don't want to lose their
connotation.
sponsorship.
Yeah.
They don't want to get canceled by, you know, the publisher. So there's some fear in that.
And
There's
that's one of the
a lot
things
of ramifications for that kind of like you guys saying.
Yeah.
And you know, I'd be more inclined to be like, okay, hey, you know, personally me, it's like, hey, if I get some for free, I'm already going into that, even if it's a crappy game, I'm already going into it with a positive kind of thought. Because, hey, I got this game for free. You know, these people reached out to me. Of course, you know, I'm gonna try it out. Okay, cool. You know, I got it for free. Why not? So that kind of has some sort of bias in there. But then again, you have those other people that are literally like, oh, I only have this one type of genre, or I only have this platform or this console. If it's not on my console, I don't care about it. This is what Shane and I were talking about. Shane brought up a good point to where if it was available on both consoles, a multi-platform launch, potentially we wouldn't see
all
this kind of backlash for it.
You think it's part of the fanboys too, kind of hating on it? Yeah, Xbox fanboys.
There is some parts. I think there is some parts. It's not entirely, but there is some people that
a lot of things, but
a lot of things. That's interesting because
one of the,
and like 7 years ago, I don't. Ron, were you working GameStop 7 years ago? I can't even remember.
No, I think this will be my 7th year this year. I think it was right after Last of Us came out.
Okay, Last of Us 1, when it first came out, there was no buzz about it. It just kind of just launched. I worked that launch. I remember it to this day. It came out of nowhere. It got amazing reviews, and it sold out like crazy. A lot of people are like, "Oh, where did this game come from?"
Yeah.
Then a couple, days later, I remember people coming in, "Hey, let me get that Last of Us for, PC. Hey, let me get Last of Us for Xbox. It's only for PlayStation." Oh, well, that's stupid. And then lo and behold, the same thing happened. You look at the critic reviews for Last of Us 1, that yes, granted, it's not as crazy as it is now, but critic reviews, same thing was happening. You were seeing people just bash it, game's stupid. It's not Halo, so it's dumb. It should have been multi-platform. And they were just bombing it just because you have to play it on this system.
I don't understand why people want to behave like that. Though. Like, this makes sense.
It just justifies their own purchase of their console. I don't think it's as bad as it is nowadays. But it's interesting that you guys brought that up because I didn't really think about that because I don't think the console wars is really as much of a thing anymore. I mean, look at both of the consoles besides their external design. When you look at the PS5 and the new Xbox, they're literally like 90% the same.
Right.
So, and their controllers are a bit different, of course, but other than their external looks, they're exactly the same console internally. It's just, there's no reason to have really brand loyalty. I mean, back then it made sense because the systems had different architectures, like crazy different. Now it's like they're basically the same console, which is funny. So I think it kind of washed it away a bit, and they're becoming more like PCs now. The consoles. So even that to this point where the PS5 is becoming more powerful in some ways than the PC because of its no handicap between software and this new super SSD they want to call that's going to help performance in gaming for the exclusive titles. So a lot of it's they're catching up for sure. But the fanboy hate is just really immature.
Yeah,
I think as long as there's gonna be these separate consoles and exclusive, there's always gonna be people that's gonna be hating and fanboying. It's never
part of
gonna
the fun.
end until
I think it's fun.
It's never gonna end until there's one console for the one console for us all, the ring console,
the console,
the one. It's just gonna be called. It could be called Matrix, the one.
Yeah. Literally, and that's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. As you guys were mentioning, the console wars, they've kind of subsided. We see, time of peace right now. You see a lot more collaboration, things like that. And growing up, that was a fun thing because you argue who's better. Sega, Nintendo, Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, all that kind of stuff. And you've seen this
Sony,
yeah. And then we see this kind of evolution. So that's pretty cool. Growing forward, we see more of this collaboration, which I'm all for. It's super awesome. The days of the console war definitely should be long overdue, but you still have those people that are loyal to their brand and bringing up some of the stuff that I think about the game. Quirk Genius.
Yeah, let's bring it back to the game.
Yeah, he says that a certain spoiler set of the fandom immediately crapping on the game because of it. So I think what he means is some of the people that saw the leaks, the people that potentially
Story.
don't own a PlayStation, they go out, they look at the
They
leaks
saw
because
the
they
whole
can't
story.
play it. They saw the whole story. They're like, oh,
Well, that's
I
how
looked,
I'm playing it.
or the
Okay.
parts that leaked, they saw, oh, hey, I only saw this part of literally the game. I'm going to judge it based on that small part.
Well,
And
Right.
literally, I'm going to judge it as a whole. So if I only saw this part and I didn't like it, literally, this whole game must be trash.
I could see that because they probably didn't read. It's like reading like a terms of service. No one reads the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but let's get the elephant on the room though. For me, from my perspective, why people were mad about this
We're
game.
gonna keep this no spoilers, by the way.
Yeah,
We're gonna
it's
talk
not a
about it.
spoiler.
Yeah,
It's just
not a spoiler.
just talking
Yeah.
about the weird polarizing reviews of the game. Is a lot of it is because of the game's message as a kind of a woke agenda, that the game is using that too much and ruining the artistic style of the game, like the original really didn't have. So
Yeah.
it's Neil Druckmann even said in a lot of his press conference when he was talking about him making Last of Us 1, saying that he almost made a misogynistic game. And like, did you guys ever
Nah.
feel that game was misogynistic?
No.
Like, so I
Not
don't know
at
what
all.
happened.
I
So
don't think so.
he's very like sensitive to like, you know, kind of like more of the feminist group, which is fine, but
Mhm.
he
Right.
really made this game clearly trying to push some sort of agenda for whatever reason. What changed in the last 7 years in his game design, but it definitely shows, and a lot of people were upset of that because it felt like a little bit too out of place, and it
Okay.
felt forced, and it seemed like the characters. I know they're trying to make powerful female characters, which is great, but I felt like a lot of it is kind of forced down. At least the 14 hours I played with it, like halfway through.
I have a lot of opinion about the whole quote unquote wokeness of the game. Like to me, I haven't played as much as you guys. I played only about 8 hours, and from what I've seen, you know, no spoilers, anything, but from what I've seen from the characters, obviously we all know that Ellie is Ellie, right? That's the main character's name.
Yeah.
She is in a relationship with another character. It's very early on in the game, so you know, obviously. So Dina is, you know, this new person that she's traveling with, and from their interactions together, I don't feel too much of a forced.
No.
You know, I don't feel any like, oh, we're trying to force. Yeah, it felt very natural the way that the two of them talk to each other, banter, and you know, travel together. I don't feel like they try to force this any kind of weird, I don't know, wokeness or whatever people want to call it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like, I think people are looking for something that isn't there. Like, I'm looking at it. In addition to Evu, like when I started playing it, I was going into it. I was like, all right, cool. You know, are we gonna see some pandering? Blah blah blah. You know, you guys have heard me talk about pandering. Don't pander. Literally, give me a good game with a good character. I don't care what gender they are, whatever, what color. I don't care. Going into this, I was like, okay, cool. Are they trying to push some agenda? You know, so I started the game, and like you said, I was expecting something. It's not there, so I'm fine with it. This relationship, it feels like
Feels like a sex education. When you get deeper in the game, it gets a little weird, in my opinion. I know you're the farthest, Ron. You should know.
Yeah,
but you're the farthest of the game.
Not that. It feels like a corny relationship. Like some of the dialogue, I'm like, okay,
it is a little cringe.
It doesn't feel like they're pushing or pandering towards a certain group. It feels like a natural relationship that is taking it, you know, that has its ups and downs.
It is
kind of awkward moments and
what
things
about,
like that. It doesn't feel to me as it's forcing like some sort of agenda down my throat. It feels like, hey, I'm a character who happens to be part of the LGBTQ community. And I have to survive in this apocalypse.
Exactly. And that's what it feels like.
And
if anything to me feels a little fast, like kind of from not scene to scene so much, but like after the big shocking moment in the beginning, and it kind of does that time jump, it feels kind of fast. Like I didn't know.
The pacing?
Yeah, they do it.
Yeah.
Like in a movie format, out of chronological order.
Yeah. Basically, when they do like cutbacks and stuff like that, the pacing, it feels like it. Yeah. Now that you bring it up, it actually, it kind of reminds me of like, it's going like a little too quickly. It's like a few days later. Let me cut back and let me do that.
Then
it feels
4 years later.
It feels a little bit quicker, so I wish it would slow down. But like I said, I haven't gotten through the game yet, so I'm gonna hold all my judgments until the end. But as of right now, it feels just like Last of Us Part 1. You're literally you are in the post-apocalyptic world, and you are trying to survive, and that's what the game. That's what I get from the game. That's
for me, though,
the main story of the game.
But since we skipped over my impressions, let me see.
Go ahead.
For your guys, it's like I agree with everyone said about the graphics and everything. The only thing that I feel playing through the story now is that even someone said in the chat, Quirk Genius, it feels like the game is unnecessary. To me, it does feel like a lot of filler because Last of Us 1 was so good. And I think that's why a lot of people were mad because The Last of Us 2's story does not hold a candle to the original. And I know, I mean, just let's throw out the wokeness out of the way. Let's throw out any personal agendas or whatever the game or may not was trying to do. But the original one had such an appeal that it didn't polarize the audience. Everyone could agree with it because of how when Joel did that selfish human act, it wasn't anything about sexual orientation or anything. He was just doing what he looked at Ellie as a daughter. And that whole premise, and he carries down that sin, the next game. But pretty much what I like about Last of Us 2, I like that the world is expanded, the lore is expanded, the game feels a lot bigger in scope, and they're very ambitious. And when they try to do the attention to detail, as Shane was saying, and I really, really appreciate all that stuff. The only thing I criticized is that I do not like. Personally, the story because it's polarizing, but at the same time, I do like its gameplay, even though not much has changed from 7 years. Like they didn't really enhance it too much. They really didn't need to tweak it.
That's the reason why it was so great.
It was so good, right? That's the testament. Yeah, I agree. It's a testament of the original being so good. But you would think in 7 years the AI would be better because the AI is just as dumb as they were in the part 1.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest though. Having a companion AI like Dina, she is actually a really good companion AI.
Companion AI is smarter. Yeah,
bro, no lie. No lie. If I'm running out of ammo, I'm like, bro, just take out as many people as you can because you save ammo that way.
Yeah, she is so good at finding the enemy, or even like if you get, how some games if you get lost, you don't know where you're going, you have to press a button.
She shouts them out. She calls out the enemies. It's very helpful.
Right. Yeah. But you know how like games like if you play like The Witcher and you use like that sensibility, it kind of throws you off because it's like takes you out of the game. Like you have this ability where in this game, instead of giving you some weird ability, Dina is there by your side, kind of like she'll step into a direction. If you're lost, she'll step into that direction where you're supposed to go, and you kind of can follow her, and it kind of feels natural, You're not just following a waypoint.
I did try to yell at her sometimes. I'm like, when we remember the snowball fight in the beginning of the game, I was like, throw some snowballs at them. Come on. And sometimes it's the same thing in combat. I'm like, Dina, shoot at him. I'm getting eaten up here. Help me out. I feel like sometimes she's a little dumb, but she definitely does call them out like really well.
She does.
Yeah, and as far as that goes, like you mentioning the AI, it's super cool because, like you were mentioning, it doesn't feel like the AI. I guess for like one of the few times, AI doesn't feel like you're babysitting, you're dragging them along.
Yeah,
it doesn't
your
feel like
companion
that.
AI companions do not
like
feel
they're actually helpful. They are actually helpful. It doesn't feel like a burden on you. Some of the stuff I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes it kind of dips in. I'm like, all right, you got stuck there, or you're standing up where you should be kneeling. But other than that, those minor things, like I'd give it the solid AI 80%, not 85%, because it's super helpful. There's only that small portion of times where it's like, okay, you have a group of enemies coming at you, and literally you're standing up when you should be hiding. Or I think my biggest pet peeve is when you're basically, they're like, oh, hey, you can use your flashlight. And I'm like, hey, I'm trying to be stealthy. Let's not make a lot of noise. And literally the freaking AI is like, all right, cool, bang, bang, bang. let me shine the light like freaking Jurassic Park when literally they shine the light into the T-Rex's eyes. Like, I'm like, no, turn the light off.
I think in this game, the AI is only able to address your character. I don't think if your companion character gets spotted, does it address them, or is it? Or I'm not sure.
I
it was the same
think
thing with
so.
the first game too. So I remember like Ellie like going in front of a clicker. So I was just replaying the first one. Ellie would go in front of a clicker and like freak out and then try to hide. they don't see her, then as soon as you do it, of course they attack you.
That's
fatal.
true.
Right.
That's what I noticed too. Like I noticed your AI partners won't alert the enemies, which is like it looks so weird. Like they just walk in front of a clicker and they don't get noticed. It's kind of funny.
But it makes sense why they do that.
They don't want
You have to suspend a little bit of disbelief there, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
But they don't want it to be the AI's fault that you got caught by a clicker.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of like the new characters, Dina and Jesse? Like not going to really spoiler territory. Do you guys like the new characters?
I like Dina a lot. Honestly.
Yeah, Dina I love. Like Dina's really, really cool. Again, I don't feel like they're pushing the agenda at all. I don't see it. But just as a character, I think she's really cool. And they actually did something. I just finished it where they get to. Did you guys get to the synagogue?
Wait.
Yes, I got to that. I got to that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that part alone, just like the history, because you never really see that in the video games, like
the Jewish history of it, right?
Yeah, that was
right.
And I'm not Jewish, but I appreciate that because you don't see that in video games.
Yeah,
and I think that was some of the audience was upset about that, talking about religion too much, because there's a lot of religious hits, like the enemies you face and stuff like that. Dina's backstory,
Right.
But I actually enjoyed that. I actually thought that was a cool play between comparing like the Inquisition and the Holocaust, between like her experience of being a survivor. And it's a little bit of a spoiler there, but once you get to that part, it was cool.
But like what Quirk Genius says, like it helps with the development of her character. It makes you really feel for her and see her background, her family, her sisters. She talks a lot about her sister being very religious and all of that, and it really gives you more in depth because she's new. You don't know anything about her. So
exactly.
Naughty Dog did a good job with that.
Yep, and that's the thing too. Like, not going to any spoilers and reserving all judgment. Like, if that's what they were, all the people that are like commenting on the radicalism and stuff like that in this game, like that's it. That's enough to trigger you. I'm like, put it this way: you're in a post-apocalyptic world.
Snowflake nowadays.
Yeah, exactly. You're in a post-apocalyptic world. People look at different things for hope, whether it be religion, whether it be some sort of motivation, a iconic person. They look to them in their times of need, and they are like, "Hey, what can I do to either help improve myself, improve my situation, help me get out of this bad situation,
and just make it
happen?" Exactly, make it to the next day. If you go back, literally, there are a bunch of different ways that people kind of cope with this. Religion being one of them. So, if this kind of interaction, as far as my experiences go so far playing the game, if this is the stuff that triggers you, come on, man. Or whoever's triggered, literally, don't be triggered by that. It doesn't make sense. You're just looking for something that's not there. But like I said, we'll come back to it when we're all finished and the game's been out for a couple weeks. But right now, there's no agenda being pushed. It's literally a group of survivors trying to find light in a desolate world, in the post-apocalyptic. Everything is overgrown. Everything is different and terrifying.
We'll have to see until we reserve the final thoughts till the last end of the game, because I heard the second half is really different, and that kind of makes or break it for you, for a lot of people. And I didn't read any. Yeah, I heard it's rough, and that's when that's why it's good that we're talking about our initial impressions now, because next week it could be totally different. We could be like, you know what, they were all right. Oh crap, this is what they warned us about.
Yeah, and
so
that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like literally, I see it. Potentially, if the second half is like how people are talking about and how you're talking about, Jeff, it could be an Iron Man 3 situation. I love the first half of Iron Man.
I
loved it.
I relate.
It was going to be one of my favorite Iron Man movies. And then literally they pull that super stupid twist, and you're like, what? No. So
I thought exactly. That's a good comparison. Iron Man 3, I like the first half. Second half, total garbo. Yeah.
That ruined the movie. I almost walked out of that movie, and I was like, this movie was trash. The second half was trash. I was like, I love Iron Man, but literally, this is stupid. So, I mean, like I said, I think I'm halfway through the game right now, so I'm going to try and finish it. But yeah, like I said, as far as initial impressions go, there's no agenda being pushed. It doesn't seem like they're trying to pander to anybody. Yeah, it doesn't seem like they're trying to pander to anybody. And I'm a big firm believer, like literally, I don't care what gender you are, what color you are, literally, if you're a good character, you're a good character. If you're a bad character, you're a bad character. And like I said, my initial impression is some of the writing I'm not really a fan of. kind of
Yeah,
it's
I can
kind of like
agree.
corny, like that Star Wars Episode 9 kind of like kiss moment.
I
Yeah.
Like
missed
some of
the
that stuff was kind of weird.
I missed a
but-
good commentary between Joel and Ellie. Like Joel's presence is
Mhm.
totally missed, and there's no
Dude,
like.
don't say that. What do you stop saying?
I mean, like,
Stop, shut up.
but I have
yeah,
to
what do
you
you-
just don't play him as much. That's all I gotta say. Okay,
Yeah.
Ellie's the main character.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah, Ellie is the main character of the story.
Hands
But
down.
yeah,
Yes,
that
I didn't say
Don't say
anything. I didn't say
anymore.
anything.
And
I'm
I'll
just
say
saying.
is
like
because we're introduced to Dina and Jesse.
Mhm.
It's mainly
There's-
Dina and Jesse, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the thing. They're pushing more of these characters than Joel.
Yep.
yeah,
That's,
yeah.
So I
Joel's
understand.
Dude,
story's not
Joel-
told as
Jo-
much.
yeah.
Dude, Joel hit me in the heart in the very beginning of this game, dude. He just from the opening,
Yeah.
You know,
the
yeah.
intros, him riding on his horse through that.
Yeah,
Oh my god!
I really love the
I almost
guitar
had-
to cars.
Dude, I almost had tears coming down my eye just from the very beginning intro, just him riding the
Yeah.
horse and going into town. It's like, wow, this is actually just so impactful. Just the first 5 minutes, like, what is this? Is only gonna
Yeah.
get better, you know?
Yep.
It reminded me
So,
of Red Dead
I feel-
Redemption. Like what the?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
play Red Dead.
Yes, yes, it's very Red Dead like. Yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
And then
Yeah,
like
that's-
my thing is a lot of people who are like upset about it. For one, have they actually played the game, or is it them?
They probably just read the leaks. They probably just read the leaks.
Exactly.
I basically on our work forum said, "Oh, Angry Joe said the game's terrible, so I'm not playing it. Why are you playing it?" And I responded,
Yeah,
"Well, why would I watch somebody play the game when I can play it myself and get my own?"
Exactly.
it's so much better
Form
to
your own
play it.
opinion.
The
Do your
gameplay
own
is really
research.
fun. That's what's driving me, not the story. The story is a little hit and miss for me. It's not really driving me so much, but the gameplay is really fun. I actually find the game
Oh,
kind of scary at some moments. It's definitely scarier than
is.
part one.
that
Yeah.
scares.
It's-
Shane and
There's a lot of
Shane
jump
and I were
scares.
talking about this earlier. Shane
Yeah.
and I were talking about this, and like with the jump scares, I was telling Shane earlier, like some of the stuff, like I don't know, I don't think there was like jump scares were a thing in the first one it was as prevalent.
no, not
But
at all.
this is a horror game in the new generation, so I'm like, all right, cool. You know, things are popping out. Dude, my heart can't take it at some time.
Yeah, I get PTSD. I'm getting
I'm getting,
PTSD
like,
walking
anxiety,
around.
like, bro, I was telling
Yeah.
Shane, like, literally, I'm playing the game at like 3:00 in the morning,
Yeah,
and my door's open, and I can just imagine like a clicker just bursting through the room and
Oh.
the little subtle noises. The Foley artist
Yes.
is like a
Yes.
genius because every little sound makes it feel like is there something in the room with you? Like a
Right.
bottle of glass would drop on the floor. I'm like tripping out, like oh shoot, someone watching
Dude, I
me.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like they walk past like a it's not a huge floor, but they walk past a building and a clicker just runs in front of them and jumps over the building, and she's like, "Did you see that?" And it was just
Oh
like
yeah.
a lie, and I was like, "Dude, nope,
Yeah.
nope, nope."
Yep.
and that's the thing. It's
The-
like, oh man,
The-
it's creepy at some points.
I'll
and it's
give it
just
to
like,
them
no.
because
The-
a lot of times it could be really predictable for a lot of games to try to jump at you.
Mm.
But they did
Mhm.
some sequences where I did not see that coming. Like
Yeah.
so that was really enjoyable.
Mhm.
The thing for me about this game, like I said last week when you guys were talking about Resident Evil, like I am not into horror games or
Mhm.
scary games at all. And I played the last one, and like you guys saying, like it's not really a horror game, but
No.
this game, like unexpectedly, when I jumped into it, and when you're going through a dark alley or dark area, my heart, yeah, like you guys are saying,
Mhm.
like your heart rate goes up. The way they pace the game,
Yeah.
when you're going through certain areas and your heart is starting to race, and then all of a sudden you finish that area and you go to the next area and
Yep.
you're traveling, you get that slow down where you can actually rest and breathe before you go into the next.
The pacing is so
Yeah.
good. They
you
don't.
get, you get
yeah.
that sweaty palm and you slow down and they do really good.
It's
with that
really
part.
intense. Really intense. The pacing
Mhm.
they did really good for sure.
Yeah.
I love the environments, but the reason why it's so scary, it's like imagine yourself always in every dark corridor, every dark room you could think of. They have it. You're in the basement. You're in like an attic or something like that, and everything is just like
Yeah.
it's
Well, it's
creepy.
even in the fields this time, because I remember in the first game it was kind of more
Yes.
traditional.
Oh yeah,
You know, okay, we're going in a dark hallway, we're going in the sewer. Like you know, there's going to be a clicker. You go into a field and then Ellie and Dina.
Dina.
Dina,
I
yeah.
always mess up her name too.
Yeah.
Get down, get down.
Dinah.
Yeah.
No, she's telling you to duck, and I'm like, "What do you mean duck? I don't see anything." And then
Mm.
I look up, and then there's like clickers all in the field during the
Yeah.
day. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh.
and you gotta crawl and go prone and go through the grass, like
Yeah,
Metal Gear
I
style.
love that Metal Gear. Like you could tell he was totally inspired by
Mhm.
like Kojima, Metal Gear, Resident
yeah.
Evil. The resources are so like
Oh yeah.
are so low compared to part one. I felt
Dude,
part
oh,
one you had a
okay.
lot
Yes.
lower
Oh, yeah.
resource count.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I wasn't expecting
Mhm.
to save this much ammo like I'm playing a Resident Evil game or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
I had a hard time. I kept running out of ammo, especially my handguns. I was like, I need my handgun ammo. I'm always looking for
Mhm.
more handgun ammo.
Oh
Give it
my
to
god,
me.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. The
So-
resource limitation in this game is ridiculous, and it's
It makes it suspenseful.
dude. And it's just like,
Perfect.
bro, I've got like 2 bullets, and I'm going into an area where it might be filled. What am I gonna do?
Yep.
All right, cool. I got my hands. Let's go. And that's the thing too. That's the thing. It's just like, when you're crafting different items, there's a bunch of different things that you could craft in there.
Yeah.
And it's expanded upon the first one too.
Mhm.
But there be those times where you literally go through an area and you get the same thing, the same kind of materials, and you're maxed out on it, and you can't take any more. And literally, you want to
Oh, I
build
hate
something
that.
else.
Oh,
And
dude, I started
literally,
crafting
you're
other
short like half, dude. You sit there and you're like, bro, I only need like a half bottle of alcohol or something like that. Make me a
Yeah.
health kit, and I can't find it for the life of me. And that's the thing. I'm like, bro, this
Mhm.
dude. It's like, okay, cool. How am I gonna approach this? And I appreciate the realism there with the
Yeah.
resource limitation. The one thing I did have a gripe on, to talk about that, is when they get to that type of management, and you have a basically you're maxed out on something. I wish they would go to like a bag system rather than you have to collect 3 of each item
Oh,
to
okay.
basically get maxed out.
Well,
wish you had
it
a
is a back system. You have a backpack, and it can only carry so much.
Do you mean
That-
like
that's true,
Resident
but-
Evil, like the size of items and stuff
Yeah,
like that?
exactly. Yeah, because it's like if I'm in a post-apocalyptic world and I come across bullets, I'm not going to be like, oh well, my bag's full. I can't carry this extra.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
give me
bullets.
the-
You gotta
give
just
me
stuff
all
your
the
pocket.
bullets that I can. Yes,
Yeah.
let me, dude. I don't care if the bullets are falling out. As long as I have bullets on me,
Yep.
I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And that's
Uh-huh.
that's the thing where I was like, I wish it would go to more of like a bag system where you
Well,
can just throw whatever.
if-
What was it?
Well,
Red
if they
Dead?
went into that system, then you wouldn't have that same level of suspenseness, and I think that's
That-
why
that
they
slows
didn't
it
wanna
down.
add
It does
that,
slow it
you know?
down
That is
a
a
little
good
bit.
point. That is a good
Yeah,
point.
so they probably thought about that, and they're like, okay, we want you to feel this level of suspense and level of strategy of holding your stuff. So
Are
that's
you
probably
guys
why they
playing
wanna
on-
go that route.
Are you guys playing on
Now-
moderate difficulty?
I'm
Yeah.
playing on
Yeah.
the one under moderate.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
moderate. I'm playing on moderate, and it's a pretty good balance between
And
you have
one
to save your resources.
Mhm.
So you're
So-
playing one below. Okay.
So one more thing I want to.
The second to hardest mode for both this one and number one and this one.
hmm
There's no echolocation.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
okay.
you basically just have to survive essentially, and you literally have no ammo.
Yeah.
It's basically throw a bottle and run. Is how you make up.
Bro, it's like Halo Reach where you're at the end and you're just like, bro, survive. And I'm like,
Yes.
that's the objective? Okay.
So
Yeah.
terrifying, dude. Because like you can just turn a corner, and again, because you don't have that echolocation,
Yep.
you're like, okay, I think we're okay. Turn the corner, and there's a clicker right in your face.
Damn. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying.
It's a lot more realistic that way, though,
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
in real
it is.
life,
Yeah.
you don't have the
It
ability
is.
to use echolocation, obviously.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
and to add to your point, Fu, I'm just
Hmm.
gonna say this, no spoilers. Put it this way: go into this game knowing that nowhere is safe. Nowhere.
Nowhere.
You cannot pause. You cannot do things. You're gonna be caught in unexpected areas where you're just gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm safe. No. It's like the Resident Evil thing with the safe rooms. No, you're not in the
Right.
safe rooms.
Yeah,
anymore.
exactly.
Literally.
There's a scene in the
Yep.
game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Literally.
Because every time I
you're
look
no-
at the tool bench, I'm thinking, is this safe? It said you're not safe in there either. Like you just
You're
gotta
not
be.
safe
Yeah,
anywhere.
Yeah, there are a bunch of areas where you're like, oh, I think I'll be okay. No, you're not safe anywhere. Yeah.
It's good. I
So-
like the feeling of the suspense of it, but
Yeah.
But
Alright.
that's more realistic because there's no, okay, here, let me pull a Power Rangers, let me morph completely, and then have
Right. Right.
like, no, bro. Okay, your back is turned. All right, here's a
Right.
runner or a sprinter coming after you.
yeah.
Right.
And it's because of that the more open world of the design compared to the
Mhm.
first one. I feel that more in this game in part 2
It
than
is.
part 1. Yeah.
So one thing I really like about this game is in the way at least in one of the flashbacks that I felt really connected between
Hmm.
Ellie and Joel.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Nope. it so much reminded me of probably one of my favorite games of all time that I mentioned earlier, God of War. And
yeah,
if you remember in the beginning of God of War, there was Kratos and Atreus, hunting, and he's teaching him how to hunt and doing
I remember
stuff like
that. Yeah.
Yep, and you get that father-son connection, and you feel really connected. And I think Naughty Dog did a great job of taking what Sony Santa Monica Studio did with God of War in that sense, and giving you that connection between a
Father-daughter type of
father-daughter. Yeah. In that flashback, you really got to see them communicate and learn through each other. She's learning from him, and he's getting that that daughter interaction.
Because like
that
spoilers,
really hit a chord string in my emotions.
Spoiler for the first game. Literally, early on, you find out that Joel has a daughter, and literally she passes away. So
it happens right at the beginning. What?
Yeah. So Ellie becomes kind of that. It fills that void and fills that role because you find out Ellie's backstory is she has a parent. She has parents too, but they don't. I think her mom, she doesn't make it or something, and same thing. So she's without a parental figure, and so they kind of find that's how they connect with each other. So
she's looking for that father figure. She's looking for like a kind of almost like a daughter replacement. Everyone has screwed up, broken families, pretty much. In Last of Us,
that's the message of the apocalypse.
Yep, that's the wokeness of this game. Yep. Broken families, damn it.
Yeah, and then like Vu was saying, they do a very, very good job on kind of nurturing that relationship, and they show you that kind of stuff, and they show like, hey, there's this development in this game. Like this is how things have happened in between The Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2. This is what we've been doing to kind of like enrich this and nurture this relationship, and that's really cool. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's awesome. So
I love that.
Cool.
And kind of going back to that too, like I think another reason why there's so much like this game's amazing, this game's terrible, is even you got to look at it as a work of art. Even going back to cinema, so almost every cinematic masterpiece, has a message and theme in terms of its art. Last of Us 1, the first message I think we can all agree was protection and survival. That was the overall message. This game, they've said the message, we're going from protection and survival to revenge and hatred. That's the overall theme. People are
fine line between love and hate type of thing.
Right.
And I think a lot of people are still going off the message from the first game. We're not in the first game. We're going into the second narration of the story, which is revenge and hatred. And I can tell you now, where I'm at,
reflecting in the user reviews too. So it's genius.
And I don't mean that in terms of like I hate the story, just like what they're wanting me to feel, I'm feeling it. Yep. And I think that's why it's making me want to keep playing the games, because I want my revenge and I am pissed.
Yeah, that's what's driving me pretty much. The story seems pretty lackluster because it's just based on that emotion, but that's probably what they're going for. And then you're literally just like hunting someone down the whole game. And thankfully the gameplay is very fun, where it's driving me. So, and I'm so immersed into the world because of the graphics and exploration, the scavenging, the combat. Characters have some, pretty interesting dialogue in between each other. It all works.
I personally like that. If you look at a lot of sequels, we don't really get that. It's the same theme and almost story. For all Resident Evil, it's kill zombies and survive. That's
regurgitated every time.
For the most part,
exactly.
And different characters, different storylines, things like. But the overall theme is the same.
Yeah, you don't really get this progression of themes, and I think that's why this is weird shift going on right now. Because it's like, no, like I'm used to blah blah blah. Don't give me blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But that's the story that Neil is telling.
Yeah, that brings up that's a really good point. I didn't even think about that.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense now. Yeah, basically people are stuck in that same theme from the first game where it's survive kind of thing, survive.
Right. And I'm trying to think of a movie where I loved the first movie, and then going into the second movie, something changes, and not so much the movie's terrible. It's just like, whoa, like.
This is totally
Terminator 2, bro.
So
subverted the expectations.
Yeah, Terminator 2.
Yeah, I feel like even
Terminator 2.
I feel like even Neil Druckmann doesn't feel like he could surpass the first game storyline. So really, there's like lines in the game where they kind of talk about a sequel. Oh, it wasn't as good. And I look at it like that. They
Yeah.
put lines like that
true.
on purpose
That's very
to
true.
pretty much like show like how he personally feels. Like obviously he
Mm.
feels like his first baby Last of Us 1 is better, I would think,
Yeah.
if you ever tell him. But
Yeah.
but Last of Us 2, it's better in other ways.
Right.
Game design.
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
That's cool.
So I think
There's-
we definitely got to beat it to kind of get our.
But yeah, I can't wait
Oh,
until
yeah.
we beat it and
Yeah,
we'll have
we'll
our
talk
final
about it.
thoughts.
Yeah, do spoilers. But
Mhm.
there's one more thing I want to bring up, and that's the antagonist, the main
Okay.
antagonist. That
Yeah.
it's not a spoiler. You find out who she is in the very beginning,
Yeah.
pretty
Mhm.
much first hour or two. And I honestly I love the fact that they brought a female antagonist that is so like don't give a damn about nothing. Like
Mhm.
it,
I like that
makes
they
you
did
wanna
that.
Hate her so
Yeah,
it
yeah.
makes you want to hate her so much more. That when you go into a different area and you find all the people that are a part of her gang, you're like you don't give a damn about them
Yeah,
because
you wanna-
of how
yeah.
much you hate her.
Yeah.
And the way you kill people in this game is so gruesome. It is
So brutal.
absolute brutal. Like it
Right.
makes Ellie look like I'm not a little girl no more. She's
She's
killing.
a grown ass
She's
woman, man.
killing.
Grown woman.
She's straight killing, man. It's like,
Mhm.
man, I feel bad. There's a moment where you would fight an enemy and then they plead for their life for like a split second. And then you know what? Like I felt like so evil because I for a split second I'm like, do I kill them? I'm like, and
Yep.
then I remember it's a video game, just kill them. And then I feel bad.
Jeff, hold that thought. Okay, you make a very good point there
Yeah.
because I was listening to a podcast this week that talked about this very subject. When you think
Mhm.
about playing a game, and especially in this game, about a post-apocalyptic world where 60% of human population is gone.
Mhm.
So every time that you're killing another human being, the reality is you are diminishing our population, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
You
I
are
never
making us go extinct yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
You look at that, and it kind of hits home what's going on with the world right now. I
Exactly.
feel like these games kind of hit a little too
Mhm.
hard right now.
This,
Oh, yeah.
this game
really weird.
especially, it is. Oh, dude, it lines up with like right now.
Yeah.
Not as far as like cordyceps and zombies running around right now, but
Yeah.
basically
Yeah.
the overall theme of this game, the locations, it's like, whoa, this is insane. This is like
Getting
happening.
weird. Yeah.
Kind of.
We're thinking way ahead.
Yeah, we're
Mhm.
like living in the parallel dimension of the last
Right.
game right now.
There's one part where I think when you first get to Seattle, and Ellie was telling Dina like how like the vegetation is kind of like overtaking everything,
Mhm.
and I had to pause it because I was like, that's kind of surreal.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
when we were all locked in, like what we were seeing, like nature returning, and I was like, oh, this is
True.
kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Very
true.
true.
That's true.
And to add to that point, like that it is definitely crazy because you have the situations like you guys were talking about, like death scenes are super super gruesome. Like in this game, I think the headshots are so masterfully crafted. Because I remember when I shot
Dude,
somebody,
hit somebody with a shotgun, you blow up their
Brutal.
arm. It's
no,
Brutal.
crazy.
yeah, and like even like you see the entry, like if you look at the body and you look at the actual the
Point of entry of the bullets.
point of entry of the bullet and
Yeah.
the point of exit, it's
Oof.
insane, and that's what I love about it. And it's definitely one of those things where, like, you guys were talking about it, it's gruesome
Mind
death.
blown, literally.
And it's one of those things, where if you kill somebody, you're diminishing the population, whether they're good or bad.
Mhm.
And that brings up, another topic of like
Moral choice in the game.
Self-preservation.
voices and stuff like that. And that's what I like too. That's what I love making, because like I think it was God of War 3. God of War 3, it was like Kratos was on a revenge mission.
He
wanted
was
to
on
take
a
down all the gods.
rampage.
He was on a rampage.
Mhm.
He wanted to
Yeah.
kill all the gods. He wanted to kill all the Titans. He didn't care. He was like, all right, I want to kill everybody. And at the very end, I believe you're fighting Zeus, and you like it's almost like 15 minutes where you just literally beat the shit out of Zeus, and you're just boom, 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 boom,
So
boom.
crazy.
I
And it's
remember
just
that.
like,
Yeah.
I have to remember it's a video game. It kind of takes away from, would a person do this in real life? And it's just like, I guess it's kind of like an outlet to where, hey, if I do this in a game, I'm not going to do this in real life. And you can
Right.
kind of take that, those thoughts in the back of your mind, those hidden inhibitions, and be like, all right, cool, I'm going to let loose a little bit and, let it fly. So this game definitely pushes that same
Moral
kind of moral compass, and lets you kind of exploit those inner inhibitions. Like I was talking about the headshots, like the headshots are super satisfying, and it's just like, wow. So but yeah, No.
All right.
it's pretty
So
cool, yeah. Switching,
we're about to hit an hour 15. Do you guys want to start wrapping up your final thoughts about the game?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, if you guys have any final thoughts.
So one of the things too that I think is pretty cool is like I said, overall so far I'm definitely enjoying the game, but I think one of the things that really got me into it was kind of going back to the enemies. Every enemy in the game, outside of clickers, every human enemy has a name, and that's something.
Yeah.
It has a name. So if you attack somebody or kill their dog or their friend, they're going to scream out in agony, like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah.
I noticed that.
Oh my
Kill
god,
their dog,
yeah.
especially.
You bastard.
It's so realistic
So
the way
good.
they make you feel
So-
like, oh, you just killed this person's dog, and it makes you feel
I
like,
felt
damn,
bad
okay,
killing
I
the
feel kinda
dogs more than the
bad.
humans. Are you guys like
Yeah.
that
Oh, yeah,
too?
for sure.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
For sure.
Yeah.
And they do shout out their name. That's true. More than a
Yeah.
person dying, which is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we got to think about it. You're probably more close to your pet than some people because
Oh,
they're in the
yeah.
shower with you. They're in the bathroom with you. They're looking at you while you're taking number 2. You know, it's very intimate. Even your significant others don't even do that. They don't look at you when you make
I
number
don't let
2.
my dog in my
Yeah, I don't know what you do. I mean,
No.
you-
You never heard of
I
that? Like
imagine,
dogs
but-
like coming in your room when they like
Yeah.
they scratch at your door. They like to
Right.
like kind of, you know. I don't have a dog anymore, but yeah. But yeah, when I did
Okay.
have a dog, my dog would be pretty annoying, like scratching at the door when I'm trying to take a shower or something like that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
she wanted to come in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But to Shane's point, for sure, like just adding a name,
the
it
good
gives it
attention
that
to
much
detail.
more human. Like
Yeah.
like literally, you just took John's life, and you're like, eh.
Yeah.
It's either you're okay, or you're like, dude, like you're in a moral dilemma where you're just like, yo, this guy had a wife and kids. He was
Mhm.
Yeah,
saving
they
up.
do.
He was like literally, you know,
I
they had a
did feel
baby
bad
on
at
the
certain
way.
times,
Like,
yeah.
We're almost getting to 2 spoilers territory now because yeah, that's true. Because you
Okay,
really
yeah.
think about
but that
like
mechanic
people you
by
kill.
itself,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
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 What
Go
are
ahead.
your closing thoughts on the game since we're a little bit over time now? But
Yeah.
I wanted to keep it
Okay.
going because it was
Yeah,
such a good topic.
Right. Yeah. I hope we talk more about it next week, or whenever we're all able to
say,
finish. And
If
do
we
a
have it
real
all
spoiler,
finished,
you know?
if Shane wants to come back, or yeah, we could talk about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I really want to see the difference of what our opinion of the game is when we actually finish it. Because
Yeah.
that's when people say your judgment's going to be very polarizing. Yeah.
Let's
Mm.
do it in 2 weeks. Let's do it. Let's give everybody a 2 week kind of window to finish it, so that way,
That's true.
if anybody comes in, they can
Okay.
be like, "Oh, you're spoiling it. Sorry, it's 2 weeks. That's the normal type of
Right.
time period and time frame that everybody gives." So we're gonna give everybody 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
if you guys are
Sounds good.
listening, you got 2 weeks to either watch somebody play through it or play it yourself, because we will be talking spoilers heavily, and our
We usually give a
post-
spoiler warning.
post game, post game impressions of it after we finish. So
Mhm.
Right.
Sounds good.
but
Yeah.
but just in addition to Shane, like literally just that mechanic itself, giving enemies a name, like making you feel, of course, you know, it could be kind of oversaturated at some points when you're like, all right, cool, I killed the 10th John. All right, you know, okay, I don't feel anything anymore. But
Yeah.
you know,
I
that
think
little
that's
thing
important.
right there. Yeah, that little thing right there, that adds just a little bit more to the humanity of the game, I should say.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's it for
Definitely.
me. So
It-
go ahead, Vu or Jeff.
Yeah. For me, like you guys are saying, yeah, you guys are pretty much all hitting all the same points that I felt about the game. You know, I think we're all familiar on the same level here. So maybe it'll change after we beat the game. So, but so far, I'm loving the game. I hope it continues to, go in the right direction. So, yeah.
Yeah. Shane?
I have one more thing. Somebody made a fair point today at work. Do you think, outside of like the game launching on different systems, do you think if the game focused on different characters, do you think that there would be, again, polarizing views on it, or do you think just overall it would just be a consistent view if it wasn't focused on Joel and Ellie? Say it was just a whole new set of characters trying to survive.
So who would you want to see as a new character, though? Like,
Yeah, see, that's exactly the point.
See, this is getting
Oh,
kind of
exactly.
spoiler
You want,
territory
like-
because if you saw the leaks, there is another character you play as, and that's where it gets a little heated. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why. I think you're right. You're hitting the nail on the head because you play at characters that more so than a Joel. Like you play other characters more than the original main character of the game.
I
So,
mean, in the very beginning of the game, you do actually play as a different.
yeah, you play as Joel,
Yeah.
and you play as other characters.
Not Joel. I'm not talking about Joel or Ellie, and this isn't
Yeah.
a spoiler because in the beginning,
It's
Yeah,
beginning.
yeah,
You mean the
you
girl?
play as
Right.
the antagonist.
Abby,
her
yeah.
name is Abby,
Yep.
and she's the antagonist, and you do play as her. And at first, you're like, "Who is this chick that I'm playing as? Like, why is she even here?" You know?
Well,
Then you
so-
find out as
yeah.
the game
find out
progresses.
How it's all connected.
I think
Mhm.
she's the one that the community really hates. And to be
Yeah.
honest, she is the antagonist. She's supposed
You're
to be
supposed
hated.
to hate her.
So
Exactly.
it's part of design. So I think that's what a lot of the people were hating was that character.
Mhm.
Okay.
So, and I believe we do play more of her later. So
I
we'll
like
see.
how evil and demented and like the fact
crazy.
that I like the fact that she's so crazy because most of the time when you see a female antagonist, they're not like that. They're always like, I don't know, just whatever.
At least
They're
they
just
went with that
kind of
balance.
like
They went with
passive
that
kind of
balance.
thing, and it's
Mhm.
just
Too
like
passive, yeah.
we don't see that kind of extreme level. I get what you guys are saying. We don't see that
Mhm.
extreme kind of level usually from a female antagonist, and you
Yep.
know maybe people aren't used to
Carol
it, so that's
Baskin.
why they hate it. And
Mhm.
and my impression was they didn't
Okay.
like that.
Oh,
They
that
didn't
was-
like Ellie because they, in the beginning you find out that she's part of the LGBTQ community, and I'm like,
that didn't affect me. I think they probably
like,
hating
me
on
neither.
Abby more. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
if it's Abby, then okay, cool. I'll play more of that, and then I'll see.
That's why
if
I'm
that
excited
hate
next
is
time we talk
hard.
about it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, for sure.
All right, so let's wrap this baby up. We're at
Yeah.
120. So
That's a good-
Jeff,
good
why don't you do
closer.
your thing, my host man?
Good question. Yeah, for sure. Thanks again for watching, everybody, for listening in. Definitely tune in next time. We do record and stream live on the HTC podcast on Twitch or 350Z time. We usually probably just dual stream it probably from here on out. Otherwise, definitely check us out. Share the podcast. So really appreciate all your support. You guys want to shout out your socials as we head out here? Yeah, go ahead, Ron.
okay. So for me, you can find my social, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, right here, I think. But yeah, follow me at Ron Kauanoe.
Go
You
ahead.
can follow me, Rolla_F, Instagram, Twitch, blah blah blah. Go ahead, Shane.
Batfan916, Vault Hunter 916 on pretty much everything. But we streamlined to Batfan916 in the next
good.
couple weeks.
Oh, nice. And you can
Nice.
find me at 350Z time. I've been playing Last of Us and streaming on 350Z time, the channel, and you can find me on socials amongst that same tag as well. So hopefully we'll see you guys next time. Peace
Yeah,
out.
solid guys. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Peace.
the last of us.
Last of Us.
Last of